Now at 10, navigating change, EMS services take the helm as Fort Scott's emergency room prepares to close its doors. Plus, we'll check out some Thanksgiving Day turkey trots in Joplin and Pittsburgh, and how community support made all the difference in providing meals to Carthage residents in need.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 10. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm Tanya Bach. December 20th, the day Fort Scott's emergency room officially closes its doors. But that doesn't mean the city and county will go without emergency services. I sat down with 2 different EMS directors who were preparing for the change.
We are posting for paramedics and EMTs also.
Director Terry Holsey says Bourbon County has 7 ambulances in its fleet, with 3 operating full-time, 2 at the county barn.
Fully staffed paramedics on both trucks with 2 EMTs.
And a 3rd truck the city of Fort Scott operates as a backup at the fire station. And while the Bourbon County EMS team is at full staff, Holsey says she's willing to expand if the need arises.
At this point, we're just going to evaluate it as we go to see what the call volume is going to be like.
Holsey says the time it takes to get medical care to those who need it will remain the same.
Response times will still be the same, yes. We'll just have longer transport times.
Without a hometown ER, patients will have to choose a different destination. The closest is Nevada at 20 miles. Girard is about 22 miles away. Iola, at least 25 miles. And the most likely option, Ascension Via Christi in Pittsburgh, which is a 32-mile haul.
I've been in it 20 years.
Randy Sandberg runs the Crawford County EMS. He's keeping an eye on what's happening in Fort Scott, too.
It will definitely impact us because a portion of those are going to land in either Girard or at Via Christi. And so if it's significant type care, it's going to have to go somewhere else.
Crawford County has a total of 8 ambulances like this one that cover a total of 620 square miles. Now, the county budgets for 9 paramedics and 9 EMTs. But sometimes that's a staff number that's tough to fill.
Weekends are a challenge. Seems like we're always short on the weekends, and so we'll staff 2 EMTs and have a captain, and then basically I'm on call, so if they get busy, I come back in.
Since COVID, Sandberg says he's struggled to get back to that magic 9 and 9 staffing combination.
Obviously, the hospitals rely on us to get people from point A to point B once it exceeds their level of care or they need specialized treatment. When we're short-staffed and we don't have the personnel to do so, then they're having to use other avenues besides us.
Avenues like air ambulance or other ground transport services from Kansas City. While Sandberg agrees that's not ideal, both he and Holsey say they'll be prepared for what's coming.
We're here and we're going to continue to provide the best quality care that we always have for the community.
Care that starts with the EMS.
Crawford County offers 1 scholarship per year to put an EMT through paramedic school. After graduation, the new paramedic must work for the county for at least 2 years. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with a first look at weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice Thanksgiving for us today. Temperature is great. Look at this, 63 for an afternoon high, right about 3 o'clock this afternoon. 34 is where we started out. Average high is 55, so a good chunk above where we should be for this time of the year. Now, if we look outside right now, at least the roads are dry. If you're traveling tonight into the daytime hours tomorrow, of course, temperatures are dropping back. We're still sitting low to mid 40s, but we had a cold front that dropped through a few hours ago. So eventually later on tonight, we'll drop back right around freezing. Clouds are also going to increase across the region. We are going to stay dry, but here's our developing storm system out across the central parts of the Rockies. This is really going to change our weather up as we head into the weekend. We're going to have chances for rain. We're going to have chances for snow across the region. I'm going to have all those details for you here in just a little bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, it wouldn't be Turkey Day without a turkey trot. More than 1,300 runners participated in Joplin's 12th annual Turkey Trot 5K and 1 mile walk this morning. The course began and finished in front of City Hall on Main Street.
I mean, it's just a great way to bring the community together, and I just love seeing all these people out here exercising. It's just a great event. Everyone's super friendly here. And yeah, I mean, I guess you run so you can get healthy and stay healthy and then kind of burn those calories a little bit.
5K participants received an event shirt, a finisher medal, and Krispy Kreme donuts. Well, the Turkey Trot race returned to Pittsburgh this year. More than 400 runners signed up for the 5K event.
People love running 5Ks on Thanksgiving. We just didn't have one here, and we just been marketing this for the last 6 months, and then it took off about 2 months ago, and people went. Our goal was 200 people to sign up. Over 400 now, which is crazy.
I like the opportunity. I feel like it's kind of good for me because I run cross country. So just seeing if I can do well in it.
Just some extra cardio, right?
Yes, sir.
The 5K race both started and finished in front of Memorial Auditorium. The Carthage Crisis Center offered more than 300 Thanksgiving meals to families in the area. And more than 50 volunteers spent the last 2 days working on the final touches to deliver food to families in the eastern Jasper County area. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has their story.
We wouldn't have nothing to eat. We would be just without everything.
Just like Jim and Rex, many Americans wouldn't have something to eat this Thanksgiving if it wasn't for one thing: their community support. There are only 2 of the more than 300 people who will have the chance to celebrate the holiday with a complete meal in the eastern Jasper County area, thanks to Carthage Crisis Center.
Feeling very, very grateful about everything. I mean, since it's a holiday.
Because we have been so blessed, we really want to share with others, and what a better way than a Thanksgiving meal with all the trimmings.
Most meals are delivered directly to the person. While giving back to the community, the volunteers also feel gratitude.
Personally delivered some as well as the other volunteers, and the expressions of thanks from the people who receive them is overwhelming.
A lot of people are alone and really appreciate having a meal, and so it's a blessing for them, and it's a blessing for everybody who's volunteering.
In Carthage, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Well, ham, turkey, sweet, and mashed potatoes were just a few of the items people could enjoy. Organizers say the meals were funded with the help of community support. The Salvation Army of Jasper and Newton counties served up hundreds of turkey dinners today. Volunteers helped serve their annual community meal in Joplin from noon to 1, and many others took advantage of a holiday meal delivered right to their doorstep.
Anyone who doesn't have a place to go or a family, friends to share Thanksgiving with, we welcome them for a wonderful meal. Turkey, trimmings, all the sides. We've already delivered out 260 meals to those who are homebound, disabled, senior citizens, and we've had many delivery drivers already taking out those 260 meals, and now we're welcoming in our guests.
If you want to help make sure everyone has food this holiday season, consider donating to our Feed the Four States campaign on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, coming up, a Southwest Missouri plumber gives some tips to make sure your Thanksgiving dinner cleanup doesn't end up clogging your drain. Plus tips on making sure those Thanksgiving leftovers stay fresh as long as possible. Well, a house full of people for Thanksgiving, and plumbers warn that you could be headed for trouble if you're not careful with how you clean up after that holiday feast. They say you should never run grease or fatty meat through your garbage disposal, even if it seems soft or you're running it down the drain with hot water. Eventually, it's going to cool off, harden, and clog. Plumbers say don't be afraid to use your garbage disposal, but make sure you're careful about what you run through it.
If you've got big amounts of food on plates, anything like that, throw it in the trash can. The garbage disposal is usually meant for just little debris, little stuff like that, just to put down. And if you don't get it all off your plate, that'll take care of it most definitely.
Plumbers say slow draining and gurgling sounds when you run the disposal or water backing up into the sink are all signs that you may have a problem on your hands. Indulging in leftovers is part of the Thanksgiving fun. But while they can be tasty a day or two later, experts say it's super important to follow food safety precautions. Naomi Ruckham has what you need to know.
From the turkey to the mashed potatoes to the pie, gobbling up the Thanksgiving leftovers is a tradition. But Cleveland Clinic registered dietitian Beth Cerrone says we need to keep food safety top of mind this holiday season to prevent foodborne illnesses.
The most important thing is, even before they become leftovers, is to make sure that you're storing them properly. Put them in very thin, shallow dishes to cool them, more quickly than you would normally just leaving them at room temperature. And then you really want to make sure that you're sealing up that food really well to keep the air out.
Get everything into the fridge within 2 hours. Reheat all leftovers to 165 degrees. Use a food thermometer to make sure.
165 is going to be the magic number to make sure that if there would be any bacteria that might have grown during the storing process, that you're going to be able to make sure that you kill that so you don't get a foodborne illness.
You can heat up your leftovers in the microwave or the oven, but either way, you must reheat them to 165 degrees. When it's time to toss what's really been left over, it's time.
You have to eat everything by that following Monday, and then after that, you need to pitch it. So you can either freeze it or store it, but you've got to get it in within those 4 days.
She also recommends pitching food on Thanksgiving Day if it's been sitting out for hours or had lots of people sampling it. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Wonder how many households actually follow that rule. Doug is up next with your complete forecast. And a little later, it's a full day of turkey and also football. We'll have highlights from today's Thanksgiving NFL games.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice Thanksgiving for us today. Temperatures were fantastic across the region. Most of us went into 60s for afternoon highs, which is great. That's a good chunk above where we should be for this time of the year. But a cold front did roll through this afternoon, so that means much cooler temperatures are going to be working in as we go through the next couple days. But if you look at our last 36 hours, we were upper 40s yesterday. We did drop back near freezing, but look at this afternoon, lower 60s across the region. Unfortunately, we're not going to see the 60s for several days. Outside right now, 42, Nevada 43 in Miami, Chanute still at 47. You can see our winds are out of the northeast, so as that cooler air continues to work in, our temperatures are going to drop back near freezing later on tonight. It's also a little bit breezy. We have those northeasterly winds at about 5 to 10, but these are actually going to increase as we go through the night. So we're going to have a little bit of a wind chill factor, kind of feeling like 23 to 25 by morning. Those northeasterly winds gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour. Stays breezy all day long for us tomorrow, and then the winds start to calm down a bit as we head into Saturday. Clouds increasing. Right now we have clear skies, but clouds increasing. So by morning, we're going to have mostly cloudy skies. You can see one little wave with rain down towards southern Arkansas and Louisiana. That's going to stay south of us, but what we are tracking is this next system. Look at the snow, Nebraska, northern parts of Colorado out through Wyoming. This system is an upper level wave. You can see the kink right about Salt Lake City. This is going to push through on Saturday night, so 2 nights away, giving us rain and snow chances. All right, let's walk through your Black Friday, starting at about 32, mostly cloudy skies, kind of a stiff northeasterly wind. We only warm to about 40 to 41 by noon. We do get some sunshine in here late in the afternoon, but our high temps only right about 45 degrees. Tomorrow night, we drop back again into the upper 20s, and then on Saturday, we warm up into lower 50s. But here's 4 p.m. Look at the snow increasing. Wichita, Yates Center, up toward Kansas City. Most of us are going to have a cold rain. Here's 8:30 p.m. Cold rain, temperatures into lower 40s, but our northwestern counties getting moderate snow. Here's midnight, Saturday night, most of us rain, and then eventually switching over to a rain-snow mix by the time we head into Sunday morning. Not a huge deal, but a lot of people are going to be traveling. I really think from Joplin, Miami north, including Pittsburgh, Nevada, a dusting mainly on the grassy surfaces. But once you get out toward Yates Center, 1 to 3 inches of snow, Wichita 3 to 6, all the way up toward Emporia and also Kansas City. 34 in the morning, 42 by noon, high temp of 45 degrees for us tomorrow. 52 on Saturday, only 41 on Sunday. Look at those overnight lows into lower 20s. So we're going to cool down quite a bit early next week, and we'll have to watch this system heading in this weekend. Tanya?
Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, plenty of Thanksgiving football taking place today. The Lions host the Packers and the Cowboys face the Commanders. John Dales has highlights from those games and more up next.
Just as much as family and food, football is a big part of Thanksgiving every year. As always, the Lions play a home game on the holiday, hosting the Packers today, looking for their first win on Thanksgiving since 2016. Jordan Love takes the field for his first start in the Packers uniform on Thanksgiving Day. First quarter, no score, opening drive, and Love slings it into Jaden Reed for a 10-yard touchdown. Take a look on the replay. Perfect positioning, threading the needle with that pass. Packers take a 7-0 lead. Under 4 minutes left in the first quarter now. Pack up 7-6. Love passes it 9 yards into the end zone to Tucker Kraft. First, the Lions get on the board with the touchdown. Then here's Love finding Kraft in the flat. That's a touchdown, and the Packers are up 14-6 at that point on the road against the first place Lions. Later in the first quarter, now Packers leading 14-6. Goff looking for a receiver, and Rashawn Gary forces a fumble. Jonathan Owens scoops it up. Lions initially think that's an incomplete pass, but as we look at the replay, Goff's arm not coming forward with control of the ball. After review, the touchdown is confirmed. Packers up 23-6 at halftime. Into the third now. Packers leading 23-14. Love to the end zone to Watson. 16-yard touchdown. 3 touchdowns out of the Packers quarterback. They win 29-22. Over in the NFC East, the Cowboys also at home this afternoon. Dallas plays a division rival as well, the Washington Commanders. Commanders at the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy hugging it out. Second quarter, Cowboys up 7-3. Prescott airs it out deep. Brandon Cooks hauls it in for a 31-yard touchdown. Prescott loves it. Cowboys leading 14-3. 2 minutes to go in the half now. Cowboys leading 14-10. Prescott finds Jalen Tolbert. It's tipped, but Jalen Brooks tracks it down. 24-yard catch. A few plays later, Tony Pollard powers into the end zone for a touchdown. It's 20-10 Cowboys at that point. 23-10 in the fourth when Prescott connects with CeeDee Lamb for a 15-yard touchdown. Cowboys dancing their way to a 31-10 lead. Later in the fourth now, same score. Prescott goes deep to Kevontae Turpin. That's a 34-yard touchdown. 38-10 Cowboys at that point. Next Commanders possession, Sam Howell, who had a long day. He's intercepted by Deron Bland. He takes it the distance, 63 yards for the score, and Deron Bland, in doing so, sets the NFL single-season record with 5 pick sixes. Cowboys win 45-10. College basketball also continues into the holiday with Oklahoma and Arkansas, each playing some Turkey Day hoops this evening. Starting with Arkansas, the Razorbacks fall to Memphis 84-79 this evening in the semifinal, the battle for Atlantis in the Bahamas. Hogs just couldn't stop David Jones from Memphis. The 6'6 senior scores a career-high 36 points in a winning effort. Meanwhile, Oklahoma gets a win, 79-67 over Iowa in the Rady Children's Invitational in San Diego. Jalen Moore leads the way for the Sooners. He scores 18, only missed one of his shot attempts. They play USC tomorrow in the tournament championship game. Back locally, though, we're very excited as Pitt State football goes on the road up to Michigan to play Grand Valley State. I'll be there covering them all weekend. Our coverage on that starts tomorrow.
And that means you need to get on the road here pretty soon.
Yeah, I will be on the road soon.
All right, we're excited for that coverage.
Yeah, so am I.
All right, thanks. We'll be back with more news after this. Tens of thousands of U.S. troops are spending the Thanksgiving holiday overseas, and the Pentagon has flown in turkey with all the trimmings to military bases around the world. Tina Kraus has the story.
Carving out time for a taste of home from thousands of miles away.
Happy Thanksgiving.
In South Korea, where more than 20,000 American service members are based, higher-ranking Army officers dished out roast turkey with all the trimmings. But some troops say without family, it's just not the same.
I miss them a lot, and definitely celebrating Thanksgiving without them is really hard, but only a few months left.
Soldiers serving in Latvia worked up an appetite with the Turkey Bowl game, looking to boost morale. As the war between Israel and Hamas escalates, some U.S. soldiers serving in Iraq and Syria are coming under attack. The U.S. has deployed 2 aircraft carriers to the region to keep the conflict from growing. Many troops around the world say they're counting their blessings this Thanksgiving.
I just want to give a special shout out to my son, Ezekiel Jr. I hope you're doing well in school. Daddy miss you. I love you, and happy Thanksgiving.
This Thanksgiving, I'd like to be thankful for my friends and family for supporting me in my career and all my endeavors moving forward.
Cheers! And a special toast to spending one of the next Thanksgivings with loved ones back home. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
A special KOAM thank you to all of the servicemen and women overseas. Let's check back in with Doug for a final look at weather.
All right, it's going to be a chilly night for us tonight. We drop back to about 32 degrees, 45 tomorrow, so quite a bit cooler than what we did see today. Up to 52 Saturday, but rain works in Saturday evening, mixing and changing over to snow Saturday night into Sunday morning. Of course, Sunday is going to be a much cooler day. High temp right around 41.
All right, time for a final sports note.
Yeah, that Packers win over the Lions makes next week very interesting because the Packers play the Chiefs at that point. A couple weeks ago, it looked like an easy win for the Chiefs, but definitely not as much anymore.
All right, that'll be interesting. Well, thanks for watching. We will see you tomorrow. Have a great evening and an even better tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.